Hi, this is a quick orientation to ETF Trading Bandit version 2.0, and this video will be under 10 minutes in length and just give a very quick overview of the new features. When you first run the program, you'll find that you're on the summary screen, and the summary screen is the main screen that you will work on. And there are three tabs. There's the Home tab, the Summary tab, and the History tab. But by default, you'll be on Summary. The new feature with version 2, one of the new features is symbol lists. And by default, you have a symbols.txt file, which contains the 20 Larry Connor's high probability ETF trading symbols. And as you can see here, I have the symbols.txt selected, and I have no data for that particular list. So the way that you would get data is you just select the list that you want and you hit the update list data button. So I'll do that, and you can see that the progress bar will move along while it's downloading data from the Yahoo end of day data server. When it's finished, it will update the list, this whole view with the signals that are current for my list. Now you can sort the signals by clicking on the header of the strategy that you are trying to sort. So if I wanted to find all of the signals occurring on the 3-day high-low strategy, I can just click on the header and go to the top of the list, and in this case you see there are no signals firing for 3-day high-low. But if I look at %B and click on the header and go to the top of the list, you can see I have again no entry signals, but there's a few hold signals, and the hold is where you've previously entered a trade and you're just holding it, waiting for the trade to exit. Now if I click on TPS, then we see anything that has a green background is an actionable signal. That means it's time to decide whether you want to make a trade in that ETF, and it's just telling you that the criteria have been met and a trade is on if you choose to take it. So there are some ways to sort the signals on a per strategy basis. Also, if you were just interested in the long side trades, i.e. the buys, what you could do is go to a strategy that you're interested in and just in the text box below the strategy name type in buy, and then you'll just have the list filtered as to the buy signals that are occurring. Now before you make a trade, you probably want to go and look at the chart, and so if I click on this chart here, EEM, buy second unit, let's have a look, see what's going on. So on the chart we can see that we are down here. If I click on this, there's a show annotations button where you can hide or show the yellow speech bubble. Sometimes it gets in the way and so it's useful to hide it, and other times you want to have it on because you want to know the context of what you actually clicked on. So I'll hide it in this case, but it's showing me that there's a second unit purchase for the RSI 2575 strategy in EEM, and it fired on Friday. Well, Friday was a down day for the market, and so a lot of signals are firing, and here you can see there's a tall red bar indicating that it was a very bad day for the market. But this has fired a second entry for the RSI 2575 strategy. We can see that it's an entry because it has a little green arrow pointing up. That was the first entry where my cursor is, and now you can see that there's a second aggressive entry. Now the aggressive entries are all described in Larry Connor's high probability ETF trading book, and it's highly recommended that you get a copy of that book if you want to be trading these strategies, because even though this program will show you every occurrence of all of the signals for all of the strategies, you still want to have a grasp of what those strategies are, and also get some other advice about trading these strategies from Larry himself in the book. So highly recommend you get that. And the second entries, or anything beyond the first entry, is another opportunity to buy a trade that you're already in. Now with ETF Trading Bandit version 2, you also have the full scale-in entries for the TPS strategy, and TPS is a strategy where you don't buy a full position at one time. The very first purchase you make will be a 10% purchase only, and then as signals progress throughout that trade, you can go down to making second unit purchases, third and fourth, The first unit is a 10%, the second unit is 20%, the third unit is 30%, and the fourth unit is a 40% purchase. So by the end of all 4 purchases, you have a 100% position size. You could actually get exited from the trade before you've bought the 4th unit, but the system is designed so that it will go to maximum 4 units. And this strategy, if you read the book, is the strategy that has the highest percentage of winners out of all of the strategies during the backtest period. Now, to see on the chart TPS, if I look at the 4th unit purchase for ILF, we can see here that you can always look at the bottom area and you can see there's a spike for each of the entries. So this is the first entry down here. It's indicated also by the green arrow. The second entry, third entry, and the 4th entry right here. And you can look back through the chart. You can see the green purchases, the red sales, and you can just get a feel by looking at the chart as to whether this strategy was a good strategy for the time period that you're looking at. Now, another tab of interest is the Home tab, and even though this only has the getting started information, there is a link on here now to YouTube videos, and this is a playlist that will be updated as more videos become available. And right now there's videos on here for how to create new symbol lists and how to manage your lists. So go check that out, and that should be updated on a regular basis. There'll always be a link in the application to those videos. And by the way, when you click on that link, a new browser window will open, and when you play any of these videos, to get the best possible viewing, you should select 720p down here for high definition, and you should also select full screen view. So if I do that, you see you get a very clear view, and it's the best way to watch those videos. So I'll close that down. Now, another tab that you can look at is the History tab, and the History tab is essentially what ETF Trading Bandit version 1 was all about. And it is the way of seeing the latest signals in the first column for any of the strategies, either long or short, entry or exit. And it's a way of going back in history and seeing when each of the symbols were firing on that particular strategy. The further you go back through the list, the further you're going back through history. And if you find a symbol that you're interested in, like GLD here on 10/28/2009, you can double click on that and it will bring up the chart. And if I enable the annotations, you'll see that I clicked on the signal for 10/28/2009. So you can see that's exactly where it's pointing out. You can see it was a second unit entry for the RSI 2575 strategy, and you can see that there was an exit on 11/02/2009, and actually that worked out to be a very nice trade. There was a first entry on 10/26, an aggressive entry if you were taking the aggressive entries on 10/28, and then there was a sale fired on 11/2. So that's the way that the history works, and you can, for any of the strategies, just come down and see the strategy you're interested in, and you can click on the button that is the particular set of signals that you're interested in seeing. So as I click on those, you can see that the grid or the spreadsheet here will update. Now, if I have multiple lists, then when I open the drop down arrow here, I'll see all of the lists that I have configured into my system. And as I said before, default is symbols.txt with the 20 Larry Connors high probability ETFs, but you can add your own, and I have a watch list here of 200 ETFs, and when I select the list, the summary view will update, showing me the data that's been calculated for the latest data that I have. And always look out for the latest date in the header. It will show you the date that these signals represent. Now, if you have a question, you can leave feedback. Press the feedback button, and it will open a new web page, and you will have an opportunity to leave some feedback in the web page. Always go to the forums as well. The forums are a great place to find information and there's a section in the forum specifically for ETF Trading Bandit down here where you can leave questions, and other people can answer them, and I'll jump in there and answer questions too. Or you can send me private response using the feedback button as well. Okay, that's it for ETF Trading Bandit version 2.0 overview. If you have any questions, feel free to use the support buttons that I mentioned, or send me a private email. Thanks for watching.